welcome to Chair Yoga with the Prescott Library. We'll be using our chair for a lot of standing poses later, so having your mat might be a little bit more helpful today. Just take a gentle breath in, just bring your shoulders, just kind of roll them a little bit downward. So I'm just going to stretch my shoulders away from my ears. Just doing some gentle upper body stretches, opening the heart, and opening our upper back, and opening, and just bringing those stretches that feel a little more natural for you. So I'm feeling a little tight in my sternum, so I'm just adding in these stretches, upper body opening up, and just gently, small apple picking. You know, you can go larger if you need to, if you're ready. And just opening it up. Just letting your body relax into it. We'll do a few more. And just gently dropping your hands down, roll your shoulders forward and back. And bring your hands back behind you, stretching, reaching behind you, and relaxing down and coming up. And dropping down. And reaching up, bring your hands forward, a little bit of a cat stretch. And coming up, dropping down. And opening. And reaching forward. And once more. And bring your head over towards your right shoulder, just letting your shoulders feel nice and relaxed. And big breath coming up and over towards your left. A nice big breath coming up. And just dropping your hands down, stretching your upper body towards me, opening up your low back. And nice big breath coming up. And stretching forward. And coming all the way up. And just relaxing down. Bring your left leg in, sitting up real tall and dropping forward. Relaxing your shoulders down. And coming up. And reaching towards me again. And coming up. Feel a nice stretch in your outer thigh. And dropping forward again. Put a big smile on your face. And relax down. Little side to side. Nice big breath. And stretching forward. Just doing some of our gentle openers that we normally do. And then we come into standing. We'll just do a little bit more work. There'll be a little more balance. Stretching towards me. But still kind of playing on a lot of our moves that we do while seated. And once more, stretching towards me, nice and long. And gently coming up. Little side to side opener, bringing your inner belly dancer, bring your side, hands up, reaching up. Side to side. And reaching up, stretch again, opening up our core. And then side to side, opening up. And bring your hands forward with a small lean back. A little bit of core and coming up. And dropping back in. And coming up. And dropping back. Now if it's too much, you can always bring your hands in. Actually for me, when I brought my hands in, I noticed my core had to work a little bit harder. I'm leaning backwards now. And coming up. So you can do a little bit of extra arm movement. If you want weights, you can add hand weights or just pretend. It's kind of springtime, not really gardening season, but you could visualize you're pulling those bags of soil in, getting ready, and coming back. Nice long hold. See if you can sit up a little bit straighter, and if you're feeling like your muscles are wobbly, that means we're working them. And coming back. Again, you should probably feel it. Little side to side movement. We're using the obliques. And twisting. Just a few more. And last one, and holding back and coming up about halfway, and then drop back in again, making sure that tummy's working hard. Come up halfway and dropping back and reaching forward. So I'm still not even, this is all the way up. I'm kind of hanging back here a little bit and dropping back. And coming up halfway and dropping back. And coming up. It's like you're doing a little bit of our boat pose. So this time, dropping back, bring your right leg up. Going to switch our legs out. Gentle movements. And remember, if the legs aren't where you're liking them, you don't have to do them. Or if you want to go higher, really working that rectus abdominis, that lower part of your tummy. Do one more on each side. And relax. Nice big breath. Bring your hands out to the sides and just gently dropping your right arm down, opening up to the left. And switching sides all the way open towards your right. Switch, opening up a little bit wider. And switch sides. And relax down once more on each side. Nice gentle breath, just kind of roll your back, little cat stretch, and dropping down, and a cat stretch, and dropping in. Gently bring your hands up, come back a side to side movement. And then we're coming into our standing position. So we just really open things up today. Nice gentle stretches. So first we'll just do a little bit of playing with some balance. You know, if your chair back is a little high, I think sometimes the folding chair is too low. You're going to need to play it out at home. And then just doing some gentle lifts. We're just gently lifting our heels up and dropping down. And move this back a bit. So just bring your heels up and dropping down, and heels up. So doing a little bit of leg work. You can go up as high as you want, or just do a real low lift, drop down. So I feel like this would be a basic ballet class, right? So we're just opening up our legs. You can, if you don't want to hold on to anything, a little bit, check your balance out. Give your feet a little break if you need them. And coming up. And just dropping down. Coming into our wide squat. Now if you want to use the chair, you know, kind of the front part of your chair, we're just kind of dropping in. We do this a lot. We're opening up our inner thighs. But first start just tapping your fingers to the seat of your chair. See how wide you need to go. So doing a little bit of leg work. And if the chair seat is too far down, use the chair back. We're going to work our way into a prayer squat. So for me, the back of the chair is too high. And then just slowly warming up, we're really engaging our glutes and our inner thighs. Warming ourselves up. And hanging out. So first we'll hang down here for just a minute. You can lift one leg at a time if you want to, opening up your heels. Opening up from the floor actually. Do one more on each side. You feel your inner thighs opening up, possibly. So find your spot to do a deep chair squat. So for me, I really probably don't need the chair, but if I feel a little off balance, I got it. If I have a chair, I actually can kind of sit back a little bit further into my heels and into my feet. And this time we're gently stretching up, forward fold. And dropping it again. And reaching down. Just by doing a forward fold, this is actually just really nice for your hamstrings. Now if the chair's not in my way, I can put my elbows in between my knees. If you need the chair, you know, you're more than welcome to. And if you want to stay up in kind of that deeper squat we had, that's amazing. And then reaching up again, hanging your head. We're modifying a forward fold, so we're very supported. And then gently lifting up. Come to kind of a flat back. And elbows down. And coming up. Go back into our deep squat. And coming up. this supported forward fold is too easy, you can drop down, letting your body just sink into that forward fold. You have your hands down. Find kind of where it's at for you. If you do have your hands more in your elbows, it's not going to be as deep as if you have your hand, or for me it's deeper if my hands are here versus being supported on the floor. Put a bend in your knees and gently, hands on the chair, just coming into kind of a squat and coming up and dropping in and up. So we're doing a little bit of glute work, but with our glute work, we're kind of getting our body ready for our chair squat, but we're supported. And probably a little bit deeper. If you're using the back of your chair, just staying supported. We'll be doing some more work also with our squats. So I certainly want to make sure that our legs and our glutes are working. And if yours are getting to be a little bit more on fire, perfect, doing our job. And just standing up. Now if you need this one, a lot of chair rotation today. Nice big breath and just doing a little supported stretch. And you can widen your feet a little bit if it feels a little bit better for your upper body and your hips. And stretch. Opening your shoulder up. I just noticed I was dropping in. And coming up. If you want to do a deeper side stretch, we'll do a little bit of play on this one also. Come into a little bit of a wider stand. And reaching over. And coming up. Reaching over, opening up your shoulder, and coming up. And once more. And coming up. And we'll switch sides, but I'm going to do a little bit different, keeping my chair in one spot. And rotating your left arm over. Coming back and over and dropping down and once more and dropping down. Now that you're feeling kind of loosey-goosey, we'll use our chair coming into our squats, but bring your left ankle over your right knee, coming into our chair pose. We do this one a lot seated. So you're pushing your butt back, opening up your hip, using your chair for support. And coming up. Switch legs. And pressing your glutes back again. So if you notice, might be it's a different stretch when you're in a standing position versus our seated position. And resting, pressing back in. And walking forward a little bit. Left leg up. See if you're, kind of checking with your hips and feel like you're sitting more back in versus kind of a rotation. Oops. If you rotate too much, you'll fall over. So dropping in, see if you can sit up a little bit. And coming up. Once more, dropping in. See if you can sit upright again. You might notice one side just kind of is a little bit trickier. This side for me does not want to drop down. And gently coming up, stepping back in. Press your tailbone back. Kind of make a goal of having a flat back. And coming up. Once more. Sit up a little bit more. I kind of like to start a little bit lower, kind of deepening that squat, but then this brings in some balance challenge by sitting up. And coming up. And once more. Upright again. See if you can drop down in a little bit more. And coming up, walk back, pressing your tailbone back. And dropping in, left leg forward, just opening up your calves. So first we'll start as opening up our calves. Small movements. So if you're liking to, you don't have to go as deep, but you can do a little bit of work up and down. Switch sides. Doing the same thing. Do you notice that one side's a little bit tighter than the other? And coming up. Switching sides this time. I'm going to turn my back to you, but opening up and reach over. Dropping in this time, going down a little bit further, see if you can sit up a little bit more instead of kind of a lean. Sitting upright, dropping in, opening up your hip flexor and your quads, and then coming up, dropping down, and up, and dropping down, and coming up. In. And then opening up, nice long stretch. And knee down. So we're getting a nice stretch in that quad and hip flexor. Do your best to push your pelvis forward and coming up. Shake your legs out a little bit if you need to. Just come into a nice stretch forward, opening up, tailbone back, put a little bend in your knees. And coming up. And dropping your right foot back, pressing your hip flexor forward, really opening up in here. That's been really tight in a lot of people I've noticed recently. And then take the bend out of your knee and stretching forward to a little bit of our deep triangle. We do this a lot in our standing, but this wasn't an easy one to do in a chair and feel supported. And hip flexor. Dropping in, and I kind of like to keep my knees a little soft. You can see if I've locked them versus a little bit soft. And dropping in, and once more pressing back, and coming up, and up, and reaching back. Flexor, press your hips forward. And dropping your heel down, but again, kind of semi-soft. And up. And dropping in. And pelvis forward again. Back. And forward. And this one, take a little bit of a bend out of the knee. And coming up. And pressing back. Try to keep your hips as straight as you can without too much rotation. Once more, coming back. And coming all the way up. Switching out, so we'll do a little bit more balance. If you want to keep your chair back a little bit higher, go for it. For me, I know I need a deeper stretch. So walking your feet back, just slowly, slowly, slowly. So you can do this on the upper side too, but my back is just too high on this chair. If you had a folding chair, it would be easier for me. But come into our plank. Really engaging your core. And pressing back. And you can see I raise my heels up. And pressing back. Dropping in, so do a little bit more balance, right leg up, and left leg, and pressing back, and back into plank, right leg up, pressing back. So if you're feeling your core working, perfect. That's the goal, right? And coming up this time, legs up. We're going to hang out here in plank. And pressing back. Coming back, holding in, just hang on to plank, and dropping back, right leg up, and just do a little bit of a deep stretch again, and coming back, and switch, now I grabbed onto the sides of my chair, and I'm feeling this is a little bit easier for my shoulders. And legs up. Doing mountain climbers. relax. And just dropping your body forward. You can walk a little bit closer. Have your forearms resting on your chair. Just take a few gentle breaths in and out. We'll come into a more official downward dog, I would say. Just pressing back. Basically, it's a little bit longer than what we just did. And a nice big breath coming up. Walking your feet forward, coming up. Let's end. Nice seated position. Coming all the way up and dropping down. And nice big breath coming up. And resting down. Thank you for joining us today. Namaste.